Hi, my name is Samra Munhaf and I'm an intern at Success Communications Group. Today I will be interviewing Kurt Praschak, who is the VP of the PR department. He will be speaking to us about effective storytelling. So my first question to you, Kurt, is that why is storytelling so important in the for PR professionals?
Well, the thing with storytelling is that people have this innate fascination with it, right? I always like to go back to the real basics. So let's picture some cavemen sitting around a fire. It's late at night, it's dark. What do they do to amuse themselves? They tell stories. They tell the story about the hunt that happened that day. Oh, I saw this big saber-toothed tiger and it was amazing and I chased it through the woods and blah, blah, blah. Or they talk about something that they remember that, they heard from their family years ago, but they tell stories. You think of medieval society, all the guys at night, the knights and everything sitting around in the mead hall and they're talking, they tell stories. People love stories. They love to hear about, this is the situation and let's find out what happened. So because we know that people love stories, when you are promoting something, if you're trying to sell something, so we get into advertising too, not just public relations, if you can make something in the form of a story, you're going to capture people's attention and they're going to follow, they're going to pay attention, they're going to want to know what happens, and that's how you engage them. So that's why, again, for professional communication, storytelling is a very, very potent, very powerful tool.
So going off of that, what are the components of a great and effective story?
Okay, well, a story, whether it's a story that, again, you're telling around a campfire or you're telling as part of a YouTube video or you're telling, as part of a TV commercial, the most important part, there's two things really that are most important. One, the plot. Okay, so, how does this story progress? What's the beginning, and then what happens, and then what happens, and then what's the final conclusion? That's what keeps people interested. The other factor are the characters. Who's in the story? So the better your characters are, the more interesting your characters are, the more interesting the story is going to be. So again, that's true of any story, whether it's part of a modern professional communications campaign, or if it's something 12,000 years ago around a fire or somewhere, people in the woods talking about it.
All right, so as a PR professional, what advice do you have for other PR professionals to improve their storytelling skills?
Again, that's a good question, and it's kind of a twofold thing. So the first point of it is, in terms of advice, make sure that you don't have to, not all the time necessarily, but make sure that you use storytelling as a component to your campaigns for sharing information. There's a lot of ways to catch people's attention and to promote things and to share information, but it's important to occasionally at least make storytelling a component. Make sure that you're going to craft something in the form of a story so you can capture people's attention. And then as far as how to improve it, if you're already doing it, again, the plot and the characters, that's the core of storytelling, from a novel to anything else. Plot and character, and if you can get those two things right, you're going to be successful, because that's what captures people's attention. And so that's true, whether it's a YouTube video, suppose it's some band making a music video and that kind of thing. Again, if they can make it in the form of a story, people are more likely to want to watch it, that kind of thing. The same thing with a car commercial, doesn't matter what it is, plot and character.
All right, so now we want to take a question from a viewer. So the question that came in is, what social media platform is most effective for storytelling and why?
Good question. I think in order for a social media platform to be a good venue for telling a story, it needs to have a little bit of depth and breadth. So obviously, to a certain degree, something like Twitter, where you have 140 characters, you're a little challenged there. It's brief. It's not that you can't do it, but it's challenging. Instagram, again, one image and some text, again. But I think, certainly I mentioned YouTube before. Yeah. Videos are a terrific way to tell some kind of a story, to share information that way. So you can never lose with videos. Therefore, since you can obviously, you know, include a video on a Facebook post or something like that, that's a great way too, because you have really an unlimited amount of text to share on Facebook. You can supplement it with a video, so that works fine. It's all about creativity. If you know that you need plot and you need characters, then you look at what information you're trying to convey, and you can kind of craft that around the various utilities and see what you can come up with, you know. And the best storytellers have always been the people that are creative and can find new ways to share their story.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.